Agencies were a result of war and political persecution. While it's commendable to try and discourage people from making the 1,000-mile trek from Central America to the U.S., this program poses a major problem in that it legally expands the definition of refugee, which is narrowly defined in American law. Under American law, refugees are people fleeing their country of origin based on fears of persecution by reason of race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or membership in a particular social group. Now, that's not even that narrow. That don't even sound that narrow to me. Under this definition, these people are as much refugees as someone trying to flee into Canada from Chicago. After all, Chicago and many other American inner cities are plagued with high crime and gang activity. Yeah, and they're mostly liberal cities. I don't know if anybody's got their calculator out, but 2 plus 2, yeah, that's 4. If President Obama wants to change the definition of refugee, he should come to Congress and ask them to change the law. Or here's a wild idea. Try exporting America's ideals of freedom and the rule of law instead of importing millions from countries that are in shambles. You know, if you change, and this is me now, that's the article. If you change, now there's a clip here. Let's listen to this clip. I'm not even sure. This is a Democratic congressman. And I thought they'd say what the clip was about. Let's listen to this clip. It says Democratic congressman wants DHS in Central America to probably fly the kids directly here. I'm guessing that's what they're... This is, you know, if you include these kids and these people, and don't get me wrong, I'm somewhat sympathetic. You know, the humanitarian in all of us is sympathetic to the plight of these people. But if you call these people refugees, then you might as well just shut her down. You might as well just throw the borders open, forget about visas, forget about, you might as well just shut it down, throw the doors open, and let everybody in. If these people are refugees, then so is 3/4 of the planet. Are we going to let them in? Oh, here's a clip of some lib congressman who wants DHS in Central America to process immigrants for U.S. entry. Yeah, let's just go directly to their country and hand them a get-out-of-jail-free card and put them on a plane, pay for their ticket. Let's just fly the whole planet here. I got an idea. Let's just close the planet, because this would be good. You know, if everybody on the planet came here, seems like that'd be, less pollution. Of course, most of them are going to have to live under bridges and stuff, but it'd be less pollution. It'd be better for the planet, wouldn't you think? Yeah, me neither. Let's listen to this moron.
Yes, Senator McCain said the problem is border security, and the president is too lax. Others...
I don't even know who this moron is. The clip doesn't give his name. Anyhow, moron, cut one, go.
Yes, Senator McCain said the problem is border security, and the president is too lax. Others may think that it's that we haven't passed immigration reform. I think the origin of the problem is this instability and insecurity in Honduras, in Guatemala, and El Salvador. And we really won't stop this crisis until we address those core issues. And we're going to have to do it in a regional way. Asylum requests in the U.S. are up, obviously, seriously over the last few years, but they're up in Mexico, in Belize, in Costa Rica. areas 700% over the last 5 years. So if we're truly going to fix this problem, we're going to have to address it here. Why not have State Department and DHS down in those countries processing potential refugees and applicants for asylum on the ground so that they don't have to come through Mexico?
Before we get to that, there's one question.
Yeah. Let's just go down and pick them up, you guys, so they don't have to make that 1,000-mile trek through Mexican drug dealers who sometimes wear government and military uniforms. You know, we're not sure if the Mexican government are drug dealers or if the drug dealers are Mexican government. They're all pretty much the same. Here's a lib congressman. You know, they don't want to take on terrorists. Oh, we got to quit being the world policeman. We can't take on any terrorists. But the only way to fix this border crisis is to go stick our nose in their country and tell them what to do. But God forbid we go put a bullet in the head of a few terrorists. You know, we have American blood. The Iraqi soil is, you know, full of American blood, but we're just going to let the terrorists have it now. Which I got a story coming up on that too. You know, these people, they just, they're so hypocrites that they don't even make any damn sense. I wished I knew who that guy's name was. Because he's an idiot. All these people are idiots. On both sides of the aisle. I mean, it's not. It doesn't take a rocket scientist, ladies and gentlemen. You can't, you know, a nation without borders isn't a nation at all. And I don't give a damn if we're talking about the Republicans or the Democrats. I don't, you know, they've both controlled, you know, all of government at one time or another, and nobody's shutting that border down. What's it going to take to shut that border down, Mr. President? And I don't care. I'll address that to every living president alive. I'll ask them all the same. Mr. President, what's it going to take to shut that border down? Maybe an anthrax attack in an American city? Maybe a dirty bomb? Maybe a suitcase nuke? What's it going to take to shut that border down, Mr. President? That goes for Barack Obama, George W. Bush, Jimmy Carter, George H.W. Bush. See, ladies and gentlemen, we've all been scammed. We've been fooled. Oh, you take your little D, or you take your little R, or your big D, or your big R, you're going down to the voting booth, and you see how that works out for you. We're seeing how it worked out for us. We've all been scammed on both sides of the aisle. If you're still following a D or an R, now don't get me wrong, I'm not going to start voting for D's anytime soon, but I'm going to look a lot closer at whatever R's I do vote for, and there may come a time where I just quit voting for them, period. Oh, what are you going to do? You just vote for a libertarian or vote for third parties or vote for the Democrats? Shut up. Now, a vote for a Republican is a vote for a Democrat, because neither one of them will shut the border down. If we don't solve that issue, no other issues matter. Not literally. But that's a pretty big issue. You know what I'm saying? And you mark my words. I said it in 2001, and I've been saying it ever since. Eventually, sooner or later, you know, I know we got John Kerry and Barack Obama, and they're taking nothing off the table when it comes to dealing with Iran refining uranium. There's nothing off the table. Big dumb doofus. John Kerry, who, you know, who's the equivalent of Hanoi Jane, or we should call him Hanoi John and Hanoi Jane. They'd make a great couple. But I'll digress. If you don't know what I'm talking about, pick up, you know, Google John Kerry. Look at it. Look at his history. In fact, he's worse than Hanoi Jane, I think, because he was an American soldier, and then he came back and pulled a Hanoi Jane, went and met with the enemy, told lies about his fellow servicemen, went and met with the enemy while we were still at war. Look it up. It's not what this show's about. My point is, you know, we're letting the biggest terrorist, we are allowing the biggest exporter of terrorism on the planet to build nuclear bombs. You tell me how that's going to work out for us. And I'm telling you, I've been saying it since 2001, and I've been saying it ever since. Sooner or later, eventually, some sort of nuclear bomb's going to go off in an American city, and we're going to find out it came across that border. We're going to find out the terrorists brought it across that border. Then who will we hold accountable? George Bush still be around? Jimmy Carter still be around? Which president will we hold accountable then? Because as far as I'm concerned, ladies and gentlemen, they're all to blame. When it happens, I'm not going to say if, I'm going to say when. You think people who attacked us on 9/11 are ever going to stop trying to kill us? If you do, you need to wake up. You think the people over in Iraq now who are walking across the Iraqi soil stained with American blood and chopping people's heads off and putting them on sticks, you think they're going to ever stop? They're going to march across the planet until someone stands in their way. But that's what I mean. You know, you get behind your D or your R if you want. They've all betrayed us. I'm not pointing at any specific people. I mean, you know, the history records who they are. The time has come. Time for everybody to wake up and smell the roses. My name is Anthony Schindler, and this is the Patriot Addiction.